Well, good afternoon, everybody. We're a couple minutes late on our next segment here, but we are going to have some fun. We are going to be shooting a couple Gamo rifles. But before we get started, let's talk about Airgun Expo. Let's talk about some of our sponsors. Let's talk about a new sponsor that literally contacted me yesterday saying, oh my gosh, can I still get in? And yes, you can. So if you go to our website, there's a logo that's not on this banner. There's a brand new one called Nate Croney. So check it out.
Here.
Huh? What's that?
There it is on your screen.
There you go. So check it out. He's got a chronograph that actually slides on your barrel or actually screws into 1/2 UNF. I'm not going to get into that because we're hoping to have him up for a live. So hopefully that works out. He's in Australia, so that ought to be fun. At least we'll get a kick out of his accent, right?
Sure.
Everybody thinks my wife's Australian, but she's not. She's from South Africa. I mean, the accent's not at all similar, but it's funny how many times people ask her if she's from Australia. That or England, right, hon?
Yes. Well, because that's where people think English-speaking people come from.
Yes.
England.
Yes.
And Australia.
Anyway, so let's talk about what we got on the table. Let's talk about what we're doing today. And this is kind of a video with a twist because I'm going to be doing a couple different things. The Gamo Arrow is... it came out a little while ago. It's super affordable, like $220, $230, something like that. It's a lot of composite. And now, this is a discussion I actually got in on some comments just yesterday or the day before. Because of plastic, when I hear plastic, I think Crosman Pump Master. That's where you go on the plastic, and if you flex it, it wants to break, and et cetera, et cetera. That to me is plastic. Composites, this is composite, right? So this is synthetic, high-grade polymer composite. It's not that cheap sort of Walmart plastic. So this kind of grade plastics, polymers, composites, I have no problem with. I actually think there's some real advantages in durability, and longevity, and the fact that I can take this out in the woods, it can get beat up, banged around, get wet, all that kind of stuff. And frankly, I'm probably not going to care because you're not going to see the damage. And two, it's just going to take it and keep on ticking. Unlike a nice wood stock, I have some really beautiful walnut stocks on my air guns that I have taken them hunting. I have tripped. I have like put a nice big gouge in it, and that's kind of sad when that happens, when you trash a really nice stock. These are really good for just beating around. Ideally, this gun, this platform, the Gamo Arrow, is really good for just backyard plinking. We're going to be shooting today at 25 yards. I have shot the 22 out to 50. It's okay, it's not great, because it's really not meant to go that far. It's meant to shoot in your backyard. The claim to fame here is affordability and ease. It's easy to fill, easy to shoot. It's super quiet. And I'm not sure if our crony's going to pick it up because it's so stinking quiet. And I believe, forgive me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is triggered somewhat by the report of the rifle. The true ballistic stuff I've worked with in the past always had been. So I'm guessing that's the case. Maybe I'm wrong, but I know that the quieter the gun, sometimes this has a hard time tracking it. But we're going to put it right up against it like this, really close, and see if we can get it to track today. The other thing I wanted to do, and we talked about this, now we were talking about it with regards to break barrels, but I'm going to talk about it with regards to this gun because people ask me what's a good scope to put on my air gun. Well, for break barrels, you want etch glass. You want to make sure it is, mil dot, adjustable parallax, whether it's front AO or side focus. You want an etch glass reticle, it's less likely to break or have a problem. And you want a scope that's made for that Springer recoil. Now PCPs don't have that. It's a more traditional recoil. It's just into your shoulder, so it's just backwards. They don't have the front recoil or forward recoil that you get out of a Springer. So really any airgun scope or any scope will work, but I grabbed today the Hawke, this is the Air Max, I believe. Yeah, so this is your basic Air Max 4 to 12, and I think we're just gonna clear. I mean, just gonna clear that front sight. And I wanted to see how that worked out. Super nice scope. I don't know the pricing on it, but it's probably in that $300 to $400 range. It's designed for air gunning. It's got a really nice reticle, again, front AO, 4 to 12. And I wanted to talk a little bit about how to pick the right scope mount. Because oftentimes people are talking, I gotta have my scope's gotta be right on the bore. And if you're shooting 1,000 yards, real advantage to that, right? So that's actually important. But we have air guns, guys. Let's be real. We have air guns we're shooting in our backyard. None of us are gonna go, well, let me say, I'm not gonna go into the military as a sniper and try and shoot at a mile. Not ever gonna happen. So I'm gonna be happy on my 100-yard range. And really, when we're dealing with that, you know, drive to try and get the scope as low as possible is kind of, you don't need to do that, okay? You may want to do it. You may have friends that tell you got to do it. But unless you're shooting way past where we're shooting here, you really don't need to. Does it create a better set of angles for more flatter trajectory? Thank you, trajectory shooting. Yeah, I mean, math is math. But realistically, we're shooting air guns at 50 to 100 yards max. At least I am. So just take my word for it. Save yourself some headache. Get some mounts that give you some clearance. Make it easy for you to shoot. Make it comfortable and go have fun. So I brought 2 different mounts out here. I can tell you the ones that are not going to work, I guarantee you. And then I can show you the ones that hopefully will work. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and take a few shots. First of all, what we have on the table, we have the Gamo Arrow, and I have another one. I have the 22 over there. We may get to that. It's just here because I have one, so we've got it. This is the 177. I mostly shoot the 22, but I wanted to shoot the 177 because I don't shoot it that much. And I wanted to put a scope on it to see how it did at 25 yards. The first thing I'm going to do is actually just shoot with open sights. So I thought we'd sit down and do that, and then we're going to get to actually putting a scope on it and sighting it in. Hopefully this video won't go too long. All right. This is a cool setup because it does have the open sights, and it has Gamo's really nice fiber optic open sights so that you have very fine dots. This is not conducive to my glasses.
Are you ready to shoot? Do you want me
I don't
to put
know
the
yet.
target?
I'm just trying to get eyeball on it. I have not used the open sights on this, so I don't know. And our birdies are over there. They're getting bigger, little guys. I had little babies over there. So here's our 10-shot mag, and I'm running JSB 8.4s today. I believe those are pretty decent. The Gamo ammo, like the red fires and stuff like that, I find work really good in the brake barrels. I've found them not to be ideal for the PCPs, so I would recommend JSBs for that. Now, I also want to test some JTS and other things, but JTS just came out with a bunch of 177, so that's going to be actually a fun head-to-head. I think we can have some fun with that, but not today. Okay, 10 shots. Okay, when you cock the arrow, you have to make sure you push it all the way in and it locks into place. Now, there's a rock on the bank, hon. How are we doing, Sue?
Ready to go.
Ready to go? I'm gonna take a shot at that rock. Sue, will you watch it and see where I hit?
I will. Couple inches low.
Just a little bit low. So I'm gonna bring, actually, if it's just a little low, then let's just take a shot at the chicken. And I can adjust from there, I think.
So go to the chicken?
Yeah, just go to the chicken. That's close enough. I should be on the chicken at this point, and then we can move it a little bit. So you have micro-click adjustments on these sights. This big knob moves you up and down, and this knob moves you left to right. The rule of thumb on this is you move the rear sight in the direction you need the shot to go. So if I need to move to the right, I'm going to move this to the right. If I need the shot to go up, I'm going to let the sight come up. That's how that works. If you're working on adjusting the front sight, it's opposite. But if you're on the back sight, whichever direction you need that your point of impact to move, that's the direction you move your rear sight. All right, we ready?
Yes.
A little low.
Oh.
Shot him in the foot.
It's a
So we're
little
gonna come
out
up.
of focus. Hold on. Let me see if I can do it manually.
All right, so
There
I
you
came
go.
up like 7 little clicks. I don't know that there's any sort of, like, it's not like an MOA adjustment. It's just a ball detent there. So I don't know how many that was, but we'll see where that puts us. Okay. Ready?
Yes.
Did I go too high? I may have gone too high. Let's come down some. Let's try that. I think that was still a little high, center but high. Oh, I gotta split the difference. Okay, and the other side of it is I'm not great with open sights, so you've got the Rick factor behind the trigger. That's, okay, let's do this. I'm gonna go to the little yellow flippy things. Oh no, the green flippy things. Can you put the camera on those, Sue?
Yes.
The green flippy things. Now, I don't know if you guys can tell.
You mean blue?
Blue, yes, the blue
Okay.
flippy things. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this gun is super quiet. Sue, what do you think?
It is very quiet.
I mean, you don't even hear any shot noise. All you hear is the click of the hammer hitting the valve. It's really, really quiet. Folks, it is super warm today. It is super
Dry.
warm. Okay, now this is like a real challenge for me because those are tiny and now the wind comes. Okay, you ready, Sue?
Yes, sir. Nice. Oh, almost.
It's all right. I think we're almost out. Okay. All right. And this is why Rick needs a scope. So let's mount the scope, all right? And then we'll fill it up or we'll get the crony going and stuff. When we were getting the impacts, it sounded pretty good. Sounded like pretty stout. I do like a 177, especially for backyard plinking. Okay, so the two mounts I have. Let's go back to this camera. I have Hawke medium rings, which a lot of people try and run these, again, trying to get super close to the bore, right? But this has a 50 mil objective. They are not gonna work. Even with the 40s, oftentimes they won't work. The other thing, and this gun doesn't have that problem, but a lot of guns, the rail is below the mag, so you have a split rail, so the magazine's sticking up. So it's another reason why you want high rings on those guns. This gun, you could actually get away with it, but we're gonna go with high rings because it just makes it easier, okay? It just makes life easier. So I'm gonna grab the high rings. And I know there's gonna be some guys out there that are really not gonna agree with me. Okay, it's fine. And technically, lower is better, but I go to diminishing returns. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our base screws on here. Now this rail is polymer, so it's synthetic. You don't need to like wrench it. It will hold and there's no recoil. So just get them snug. You do not have to go crazy on the adjustment here. Get them snug and you are probably gonna be just fine. Now, I should have paid attention. It doesn't really matter on this, but for the sake of those that have a brake barrel that may be going through this process, these Hawke rings actually have, one of them has a stop pin. So the stop pin should go in the rear. You don't need it on a PCP, but we're gonna put it back there anyway. Okay. All right, that, this one here. Okay. Okay, this is, if you guys, I don't know if you guys saw it, but we did an unbox, well, we unboxed the boxes, I guess, the big box of boxes for Hawke. They sent me a bunch of new stuff, really cool stuff. And this is one of the scopes from that, because I had asked for some products that were more for, more entry level or budget, not necessarily, but I don't know the right word is, but certainly not their top tier stuff. I have the Frontier, I have the Sidewinder, I have that stuff. I wanted stuff that was a little bit more budget minded. And so I asked for Vantage IR and Vantage wide angle side focus and the Air Max. The Air Max line is specifically for air gunners. It works on other things too, but specifically for air gunners. Okay. So we'll take our top mounts off. Now these rings have, like, I call it scope tape or whatever it is. There's like a grip tape in it. So again, you don't have to wrench these down, especially on a gun like this with like little to no recoil at all. I mean, really nothing to notice. The scope, once you get it basically set, you should be fine. We're gonna just make sure we're snug. Again, you do not need to wrench this. Oh yeah. Actually, I need to move that back a little bit. Let's see. If you needed to have a shorter scope, they have the Air Max Compact, which we're going to try and put on one of the brake barrels. And this, I believe, will also work on a brake barrel. So we might put this like on the Magnum and then put the Compact on like the Bone Collector. And I was going to try and do that this week, but I may save that for after Expo. Okay, so there you go. You have plenty of clearance between the objective and the front sight, so that'll be fine. We'll go ahead and put our rings on.
Why are some scopes not suitable for brake barrels?
If they're not designed to handle that reverse recoil, that frontward recoil.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it will trash. A scope that's not built for it, it's not long for this world if you try and use it. And people, back in the day, like when I started almost 20 years ago, there were folks that were trying, put Leopold and Nikons and all kinds of really expensive scopes on brake barrels. Oops. There we go, there it is. And so they'd put this high dollar scope on their rifle and then they trash it, like break it. And that's gotta be sort of disheartening. When you put a $2,000 optic on an airgun that's not $2,000 and then it trashes it in a few shots, so yeah.
That would be sad.
Yeah, it makes this air gunner unhappy. It looks like we have a little room to wiggle if we need to. I'm hoping that the eye relief is going to be fine. Now, what we're doing here is just getting these basically set. We're not going to tighten them down all the way. We want to be able to move. I'll tell you a funny story. It's a funny Rick blooper story. You guys want to hear a funny Rick blooper story?
Sure.
Has to deal with
Always.
the scope.
You what?
I was doing a demo on how to mount a scope, and of course, on the demo I actually didn't look through it or set it up, and realized I went back and looked at the footage, and I had it rotated 90 degrees. Oops. I'm like, well, darn. I had to go redo the video. It's a little crooked, I can tell you that. Oh gosh, that's gorgeous. Okay, you can come back a little bit. About like that. Okay.
How tight is too tight when you screw it down?
If you bend the scope, it's too tight. There's actually like a Newton meter optimal, but I don't know what it is. I finger tight with the Allen wrench, so like I go down like this, and then maybe put it on like this first thing and give it like a quarter turn or something.
Okay.
It does loosen up because the scope tape will shrink, will get compressed. And so checking it every so often when you first mount it with these rings is smart. But because this really doesn't have any recoil, it's not likely to give you a problem. I am pretty straight. I'm going to look here. Now, again, I'll get people to tell me how wrong I am, but that's okay. You should put up a plumb line, make sure your gun's square, get it perfectly lined up. But again, I'm shooting a fixed distance at 25 yards. If I'm a fraction off, it's okay. If I was shooting from 100 to 1,000 yards, that's when the other side of it becomes super important. But we're not. We're shooting 15 yards, 25 yards, something like that in our backyard. This is fine. The way I do it is I look through the scope and I look for the vertical reticle to split the receiver. If it's not dead center in the receiver, if it's like to the left or to the right, then I check to see which direction I need to make it so that comes straight down and splits right down the center. And that usually tells me I'm pretty straight. It's been good enough. There are things like Real Avid has like a scope mounting tool, and there's all kinds of stuff out there that'll help you do it. But again, this is quick, close enough, and good enough for what we're doing here. And as you sort of tighten this up, you want to check it, because I can't tell you how many times I've gone and tightened everything up and then the daggum scope moved. Yeah, okay. Once you get one down, it's a little bit easier. This one's probably not going to cause us any problems. Get this done. The other thing I like to do is make sure as much as possible that the gap on my ring, so the gap here on the left side and the gap here on the right side, are as even as possible. It's impossible to get them perfect, but I really try and get them where they are close. That's just me. And then you want to tighten them up in like a diagonal pattern. See, these are about there. And I don't need to go any more than that. I don't even need to put it the Allen key long ways. These are plenty good. Okay. Now, I want to set my distance for about 30 yards. We're going to shoot that rock again.
So get the camera back on the rock.
Put the camera on the rock. We're gonna shoot the rock, and then we're gonna adjust. And like you move your rear sight in the direction you need your shot to go, your point of impact to go, we're gonna take these caps off, and they're gonna have an up, down, left, right indicators, and you move the dial in the direction you need the shot to go. Okay. Safety off. And I'm gonna aim for that rock, Sue.
Alrighty.
Oh, I'm just gonna have to hold it. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Low.
Low.
Okay, so we'll take the top turret off, or the turret cover. And up here there's I'm gonna show the camera.
Yep.
Okay, so you see it says up, so we're gonna rotate it this way, okay, which is gonna move our shot up. Now, the amount of movement is a 1/4 inch per click at 100 yards, which at 25 yards, a click is essentially nothing you're gonna see. So you're gonna wanna do 4 or 8 clicks to move it a little bit. Now we had about a foot to go, so let's see where like essentially half a turn, or that's almost like a full turn is gonna give us. A little bit more. That's another half turn. Close. I'm gonna actually take a shot at 25. Take a shot at the chicken. Left to right's good. That's actually pretty good. Well, let's see where we are at the chicken. Someone's out flying around. Gosh, that's a pretty picture. Let me know when you're done.
Done.
All right, here we go. Under it. Low right. Move it to the left a little bit. Up a little bit, left a little bit. Pretty much on now. I'm gonna go for like a neck shot. Okay, left. It's on that little spot in it. Hold on. I was turning it to the right. Oops. They make like little markings and everything. I not pay attention. I'm gonna go for center. Out. All right. Pro tip: put ammo in the mag. So far we've had the pro tip of cock the gun. The other pro tip is make sure it's loaded. Okay, so there you go, freebies. And then we'll need to check our pressure. I don't know how many shots this gets on a fill. I'm trying to remember, but it's probably 30 or so. So we're 20 in at this point. It's a beautiful day. And I am tempted, with the conditions being this good, I'm tempted to try 50 yards. I don't know if we'll have any success, but I'm tempted to try it. If we hit something, I'll be happy. All right, chicken. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's the same spot. Let's go back to our little blue target, Sue.
Sweet.
I like scopes. Scopes are better.
I like
Yeah.
reactive targets too.
Yeah, I mean, I think we should try 50 yards, Sue. I'm gonna set the Crony up. You showed them some pictures.
I don't
And-
have any pictures. Not of this.
There's pictures of the 22.
No, sir.
Did I fail?
You did.
Error, we have, I hate looking down the bore like that, about 130 bar, so let's top it off.
Hate to be the one to tell you this, but your wife hates it more when you look down
Yes.
the barrel.
A huge thank you to Tuxing, the compressor company. Not only do they do compressors, but they also have tanks and filters and all kinds of cool stuff. Definitely check out their profile page on our website, and because that's how I'm filling these tanks. That's what's keeping us moving more quickly through these videos, because if I had to go fill these up every time on a personal compressor or something, that would take way too much time. So we have tanks. We're able to fill our bottles easily with that gas-powered compressor. This is very nice. They have an electric version of that as well in 110, I believe. So that's very cool.
Would that
If
be a
that's what
good
you
thing for someone like Havasu Airgunners when we had it?
Yeah,
Or an Airgun group to actually have something like that?
Yeah, I mean, it would be ideal for like an Airgun group. I mean, I know people that own those, and really, if you look at the price, like the Air Venturi cage compressors, what, $1,400 now? Maybe they've had a price reduction. That's what that is. Like an electric is that price, $1,300, and it fills it almost. It's like 3.5 cubic feet per minute, so it's like 3.5 times the speed, and it produces breathing quality air. So it's like got lots of levels up. What would be comparable in quality, but actually not quite as good as far as the air quality, is like the Daystate compressor. That's another great compressor. It's a couple $1,000s. It's perfect for a club, and that's 110. Fills more slowly because they want to deal with expanding durability. And we've got an hour meter on this, so we're going to find out how the durability works out. All right, so let's see here. We're going to clear this string. And we are going to go, and let's see, I think I have the 8.4s in there. So let's grab our pellet. Yeah, here we are, 8.4s. Okay, let's see if we get something happening. We're going to go for 50 yards.
50?
50.
So that's the turkey?
That's the turkey. That's a long shot, guys. I mean, that's a long shot. That may be trying to do too much. I want to see if I can see where I'm hitting on the turkey as far as holdover. Then I'm going to see if I can hit any of the bullfrog targets. And of course, the wind starts picking up. And we'll see if our Crony picks up the small pellets in such a light gun. It's okay if it doesn't. I can grab my other Crony. Okay, so if I'm at 50, oh, here comes the wind. I'm going to go for a mill over. Okay, I'm going to go 1 mil. Oh, you know what? This isn't first focal plane. So whatever I set here, if I change my magnification, it will change. So I'm going to put my magnification on 10 power. And I'll use that. And then I will go 1 mil over at 10. And let's see where we hit. Ready, Sue?
Yep.
It's not going to capture. It's too quiet. And let me make sure I aimed at it better. Okay, we'll try it again. It was hardly any drop. I might be half a mil here. I'm going to aim dead center with no adjustment. We got it.
21.
All right, that's cooking. That's doing really good. It's shooting a little bit left, and the gun is so stable I can actually watch the pellet fly. The pellet's not as stable as I'd like it to be, and it looks like we got some breeze pushing right to left. Let's take another shot. I'm using the same hold point.
1,015. 1,015.
Okay. So I think I can hit the bullfrog target, Sue.
The blue
The
ones
blue
to the
ones?
right.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go. I think I know where I'm hitting. I'm going to try it. Let me know when you're on.
Let me see if I can focus that a little bit.
Okay. This is 50 yards with a little breeze with a $200, $230 177.
ahead.
And guys, we're pushing 8.4s at 1,015 feet per second. Right? Technically, that's a little too fast. Let's see what that is energy-wise. It's almost 20 foot-pounds. That's awesome. It's almost 20 foot-pounds and a little 177, affordable backyard, super quiet. Man, could you do some small game pesting and hunting with this thing. We ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm about half a mil over and just a little bit to the right.
You got it.
18. 1,020. 1,033.
This is 50 yards.
1,015. 1,016. 1,006.
Ta-da! I don't know what else to say. That's awesome. Not only did we get some great results, the crony got our numbers. That was awesome. So making it closer to the muzzle, getting it there, and pointing at the right target seems to be the ticket. Let's see. Okay, so our extreme spread is 27. This is an unregulated gun, by the way. So we're able to shoot 50 yards. We're not killing anything. Like, we're not killing deer or something, right? We're just out here having fun plinking. I'll take it. I don't know what time is it? We're about done.
12:39.
We're not going to get to the 22 today. But that was just a ton of fun, guys. This is just a really neat little air gun. It's super affordable, backyard friendly. You can fill it with a hand pump if you don't want to get a compressor. It's definitely doable that way. We're pushing almost 20 foot-pounds. I don't know what we get with heavier pellets, but the 8.4s are a good balance for this gun. We're pushing 1,000 plus, so we could really kind of go with the 10.3s, I'm betting. And I don't know what I think I need to do like a video on this gun and just do some pellet testing. Maybe we can do a head-to-head between the JSP pellets and the new JTS pellets. That would be fun. We'll save that for after Expo though. But that's awesome, guys. That's a nice Hawke Air Max scope, super clear. I'm at 10 power. I mean, you could go all the way to is this 12 or 16? 12. So it's a 4 to 12. So I'm basically at max anyway. Yeah, just really, really, that's a nice setup. That's a super nice setup. Granted, the scope's probably 1.5 times the cost of the rifle, but hey, if you want good glass, it costs money. But there you go. If you guys have any questions about this or the other Arrow in 22, you guys probably already saw our I want to say pre-roll, but it's not, our
Pre-recorded.
pre-recorded, thank you, Sue, pre-recorded video on the 22. Again, What's not to like about these? I mean, maybe you don't like all the plastic, quote unquote. I would say it's an asset, not a liability. Super nice air gun. If you guys want to know more, check out our links on our website, theairgunexpo.com. You can just click on Gamo's logo and you're going to get their page. It's going to have this product specifically on it. You can find out more about it and you can send them an email right off that page if you want to. If you want to know more about Hawke, you can click on their logo. We've got their binocs here. We've been really enjoying their Hawke, the scopes, the reflex sights, all that kind of stuff is a lot of fun. More about the chronograph, which I think we've licked the problems. Well, the problem wasn't with it was with me, but super nice chrony provided by Utah Airguns. Again, you see any of that stuff, you want to know more about it, the Airgun Expo, click on their logo, you jump right to their page, you can learn about the cool stuff we're going to be demoing here at the show. Guys, that's going to be it for now. We got another video coming up in about 40 minutes, 45 minutes or so?
1:30, yes.
At 1:30, yeah. So we got another video coming up in about 45 minutes. Which one is that one, Sue? Is it the
Utah,
Wildcat?
yes, it is. The Utah FX Wildcat.
Okay. Gosh, we've kind of bounced like yo-yo today. We had like a 50 cal before this one, which is about as opposite of this gun as you can get. Is that one? It's loud kicks, 400 foot-pounds we hit. Yeah, so this doesn't kick, super quiet, and 20 foot-pounds. So, and 177. I mean, we're at the absolute extremes. Anyway, that's what Airgun Expo really lets us do, is show you guys a ton of really cool air guns, but a real diversity of different products from different places. So we're gonna go get ready for that next one. Hopefully you guys will join us, enjoy whatever videos coming up on the, do we have something coming up on a pre-recorded?
We have the Gamo Coyote 177.
All right, another 177. So the Gamo Coyote 177, by the way, that shot really, really well. Hope you guys like that video too. That's gonna be it. We'll see you guys in a little bit. My name's Rick with AirgunWeb and the Airgun Expo. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching.